suddenly I had in my mind a vision of where she was, curled up in the crook of a hollow tree.
One morning in December of 1992, I woke up and I was suddenly overwhelmed with the need to learn everything I could about dolphins and whales.
She really believed that the spirits killed her husband and daughter, and fearing them, she had to build and build as they told her, and that way she could achieve eternal life.
From the boundaries of the universe to the depth of your soul, embark on a journey through the unknown and unexplained as we explore mysteries, magic, and miracles. Hello and welcome. I'm Patrick Macnee. Today, we'll look at a possible connection between dolphins and UFOs, and we'll walk the halls of a unique house full of mystery. But first, we'll investigate a form of psychic ability using vibrations. Just an ordinary watch. But can we learn about the person who owns it just by touching it? Psychic scientists believe that objects absorb vibrations from human beings, and those vibrations can be detected by touch.
To define psychometry, we would have to go back a ways in our civilization, quite a ways, quite frankly, to the days before the written word. It's essentially the art form of extracting data, information, and images from objects of art, actually any object for that matter.
Although there is skepticism in certain scientific fields in the Western world, psychometric ability has been around for at least 5,000 years. In fact, many cultures have utilized this mysterious gift successfully for centuries.
Ultimately, it generates from the days when we were in the caves, quite frankly. As you might imagine, early man basically intuiting his way through the world to begin with, picking up objects, feeling them, getting a sense of them. I believe that's where it started from.
Psychometric medium Will Tremont says his knowledge of psychometry was handed down to him by his ancestors.
It started with my great-grandfather. Back in about 1873, he was kidnapped by gypsies in Italy. He was playing with gypsy children from an encampment near his home village. Some gypsies were traveling through, and one of the leaders of this band of gypsies, a man who himself was gifted psychically, he recognized something in my great-grandfather, a certain psychic sensitivity. This old gypsy dazzled my great-grandfather with some magic tricks and then kidnapped him.
The kidnapper took the unknowing child back to his gypsy camp and kept him for the next 7 years. The gypsy passed on his arcane knowledge gained over a lifetime. He taught the child how to activate his own ability to pick up on psychometric vibrations. As it was to turn out, the gypsy may have taught the boy a little too much. Their travels eventually took them through the same province in which the boy was born. At their campsite that night, the boy felt a familiar sense of his surroundings and had a mysterious vision of his mother, although he had not seen her in over 7 years. In the vision, he pictured not only what she looked like, but where he could find her. He followed his vision, slipping away from his gypsy stepfather and headed to a stable of the local magistrate. He found his mother working, and a joyous reunion ensued.
My great-grandfather passed on the knowledge that he had learned from this gypsy, passed that to my father, who eventually passed that on to me. And I think my ability to pick up on psychometric vibrations given off by objects is a combination of what I was born with and also this knowledge that was passed on to me from my father from the gypsies.
In 1984, a young Midwestern mother was to test Will's unique psychometric ability handed down to him from his great-grandfather.
I live in a rural area. It was winter. My 5-year-old daughter, Katie, was playing outside. The neighbor kids were older. They were watching her. She wandered off without anyone noticing. She was following a kitty, and she got lost. The neighbors went out looking for her, but they couldn't find her. You'd think you could follow the tracks in the snow, but there were tracks everywhere in all directions. When I found out, I was frantic. There are a lot of ponds and moving water. I was afraid she'd gone out onto thin ice. I was going to run up and call the police, but they were so far away. I knew I had to hurry. The sun was going down. It was getting so cold. Then Will came along, and he said he thought he could help.
The mother gave Will a headband that the little girl had been wearing that day. Will immediately got a sense of who the child was, and when shown where the headband had been found in the snow, he began to feel the impressions of the footprints left in the area and sensed the vibrations of the lost child.
And suddenly I had in my mind a vision of where she was. I saw her curled up in the crook of a hollow tree. She was out of the wind. She'd fallen asleep. She wasn't far, and people had walked right by her and hadn't seen her. I was able to follow the prints. I lost my way a couple times. I had to feel my way. I felt the snow again. I had a clear picture of where she was, and suddenly I looked up. I saw the tree where she was sleeping.
Will cleared away branches and rescued the child from her frozen entrapment. Although suffering from hypothermia, the child was alive and reunited with her mother.
I couldn't believe it. Katie was exactly where he described. I took her inside, I warmed her up. Her body temperature must have been very low. She shivered for a long time. But she was all right. And now she's a beautiful teenager.
There are those who doubt the powers of psychometry, but as you have just seen, it can truly be credited with an unbelievable reunion and a life-saving miracle. One of the most commonly reported supernatural phenomena involves timepieces. There are many reports of clocks and watches that stop at a particularly significant moment, such as the death of the owner of the timepiece. We have learned of a case in Illinois where a watch stopped when a grandfather died and started up again when a baby grandson was born. We're constantly discovering new, intriguing insights about our water friends, the dolphins. Their intelligence is often described as that of a higher being, and it is even said by some that dolphins may be our link, the messengers to other life forms in the universe.
Dolphins and whales. The ocean is their playground, and myths and tales about their extraordinary abilities have been proven to be more than pleasant fantasies. People claim that dolphins and whales are here for a purpose, that these sea mammals possess the answer to questions about mankind and the universe. Everybody is intrigued by these graceful, friendly mammals. A few people have made it their lifelong mission to explore the existence of dolphins. Tricia Lamb-Fauerstein is one of these people.
One morning in December of 1992, I woke up and I was suddenly overwhelmed with the need to learn everything I could about dolphins and whales.
What Trish experienced is known as the call of the dolphins. It can happen through a dream, in a vision, or simply out of the blue. There is no explanation. Only if we could accept that dolphins and whales have an ability to communicate on a level that is beyond human comprehension.
There's a lot of channeled information that indicates that dolphins and whales came here from Sirius. Some say that they were godlike beings on Sirius and that they came to this planet to colonize it and take care of it.
One of their many functions on Earth is believed to be that of record keepers.
Whales and dolphins were sent here to store the history of this planet, of humans, of dolphins and whales, and all other beings.
Interaction between humans and dolphins has shown mysterious healings in humans with emotional problems like depression, fear, pain. People are stunned by the cases where disabled and autistic children improved greatly after spending time with dolphins.
With their sonar abilities, they can actually see into your body. They can detect problems, imbalances in your energy field, and then they beam back a frequency that helps to bring you back into balance. Another function they have is interdimensional travel or intergalactic travel. Supposedly dolphins and whales can take on their light body and travel anywhere in the galaxy or to any dimension they want to.
With the capability of interdimensional travel, it is said that dolphins transport humans from this realm into the afterlife. As record keepers, guides, and healers, the purpose dolphins and whales have seems never-ending.
Even Carl Sagan has pointed out that we have living right here on our planet an extremely intelligent and sensitive alien intelligence that lives in our waters.
If this is true, maybe dolphins and whales are introducing us to new ideas and possibilities. What started out as a weekend outing turned into an unexpected adventure for Steve and Sandy. It involved the sighting of a UFO. The difference is that dolphins played an enormous role in their experience. One evening, they decided to go to a campsite on a hill, close to a remote stretch of the beach.
And it was pretty late when we got there, so no one was around. And we hiked up a little bit farther to see the view of the ocean.
Finding the perfect spot, they decided to settle down for the night.
We were relaxing, talking, and looking at the ocean from the mountain. And I thought I heard something. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I was wondering if it was just me hearing noises.
It's getting louder. What do you think it is?
It sounds like dolphins.
Dolphins?
Well, it seemed like they were talking to us and they were trying to tell us something, what we didn't know at that time.
Yeah, and I grew up around here and we always heard them cackling.
And the strangest thing ever happened.
What is it?
I don't know.
We saw this huge ball of light, reds and blues, and the light was glistening right over there on the water, right where the dolphins were swimming.
What is it, Steve?
Jeez, I don't know. What is that thing?
And you know, first we couldn't believe what we saw.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
It really freaked us out, and we just sort of stared at it. You know, and then the panic set in of what was happening.
Steve and Sandy told us that it would take them a long time to accept what happened to them. Even today, they are still very reluctant to share their experience with other people.
I don't know. Everyone's heard of strange encounters. And people say that dolphins are a higher intelligence being. But all I know is what I saw.
Steve and Sandy truly believed that the dolphins were connected to the UFO they saw, as if the dolphins wanted to prepare them. Dolphins and whales have a more developed intellect and sensitivity than we do.
There's a lot of things about us that make us far more like dolphins than we are like primates, say, who are supposed to be our ancestors. We don't have hair. We perspire and sweat. None of the other primates do. We have a layer of body fat. So there's lots of indications that we were once water beings and may have a common ancestry with the dolphins and whales. There's a wonderful story in one of the books I have about a man who was out snorkeling or scuba diving, I believe it was, and he got a cramp and could no longer swim, and he was about to drown, and he was praying for someone to come and rescue him, and a bottlenose dolphin came and draped himself right over his dorsal fin and carried him in and tossed him on the shore, because this man wasn't even capable of swimming into the beach at that point, and saved his life.
Whatever dolphins and whales represent, we are constantly reassured by their harmonious presence. Maybe they are the obvious evidence we've been looking for in our quest to explain where we came from and where we're going to.
Superstition can make us do crazy things. One wealthy widow created a magnificent estate and kept workers busy on it 24 hours a day for years, for the sole purpose of confusing evil spirits.
People consult mediums for a lot of reasons, to get advice on their life or to look into the future. But for Sarah L. Winchester, one medium's advice kept her busy for 38 years. Did the staircases leading to nowhere and the windows in the floor help her attain eternal life?
Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, came to Northern California in 1884. Until the night she died, she spent her entire life creating a house that to this day remains a mystery.
Well, she's somewhat of a mystery, as I'm sure she wanted to be. She was very reclusive, didn't know many people in the area, and kept to herself pretty much. We don't really know who she was.
Whoever Mrs. Winchester was, she was certainly enigmatic. The house she created, every hallway, every window, makes you continually wonder, why?
This is called the Goofy Staircase, and I think you can see why.
I sure can. This is crazy. And was she a little woman?
Yes, she was only 4 feet 10, so she could have made it through this a little easier than we are.
I'm sure construction workers wondered why they were told to build this house, but she paid generously, and they did what she asked.
She began building in 1884, and she started out with a 8-room farmhouse, and it mushroomed into what we have today.
Where does this door go?
Go ahead and find out.
Whoa. Doesn't go anywhere.
No.
Was this here originally?
Yes, yeah. She put these things in to try and confuse the spirits. She was married to William Wirt Winchester, and he was the second president of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. She inherited all of his money after his death, and when she came out here, she became very fascinated with the occult.
So where are we going now?
Down 13 steps.
She was really fascinated with the number 13.
Yeah, this room we're going into actually has 13 windows. 13 windows. There's 10 on this wall, 2 there, and then the 13th overlooks the room where she died, actually.
The number 13 had an irresistible appeal to Mrs. Winchester. It's found all over the house. 13 wall panels in the ballroom, 13 lights in the chandeliers, and 13 holes in a drain. Even some plants grow mysteriously into the number 13.
Well, she had her own seance room, and she conducted nightly seances to communicate with the spirits of those who were killed by the Winchester rifle. She really believed that the spirits killed her husband and daughter, and fearing them, she had to build and build as they told her, and that way she could achieve eternal life. And this is the room where she died. She died in 1922.
Psychics have conducted seances in this room, and 2 figures have been seen, neither of which were Mrs. Winchester. But visitors to the house have heard the ghostly chords of an organ echoing down the hallways. The house itself is a treasure trove of mysteries, from the baffling message in a window to the stairway leading nowhere, window in the floor, cupboard that opens up to a wall, and closet as big as an apartment.
There's no telling how much more Sarah Winchester might have built if she hadn't died in 1922. But who's to say she's finished? Maybe her spirit still roams these maze-like hallways, looking for a way back in.
In a recent show, we explored the tragic occurrences resulting from an increase in natural disasters.
People seem to be getting anxious about what might be in the future as we approach the end of this millennium. There was a great fervor about apocalyptic things at the end of the first millennium, and now people are becoming more conscious of something ominous in the future here, because we're seeing unprecedented storms, global weather pattern changes, tremendous increase in earthquakes.
To further substantiate this, many have claimed the recent earthquake in Kobe, Japan is another step towards Earth's final days.
The worldwide rate of seismic activity is about the same as it has been since the turn of the century, which is when we started really seriously monitoring it seismographically. It comes and it goes. I mean, some years are more active than others, but there's no trend up or down in the long-term data.
Nonetheless, a fervent belief that Judgment Day is upon us persists. In any event, if you build your house at the foot of a volcano, or on a major fault line, or in the desert, you may expect to see a little ash, or feel the ground move, or not see rain for many days. Something to think about. One might wonder if walls and doors of windows are built to keep something out, or something in. I'm Patrick Macnee. Join me next time for more mysteries, magic, and miracles.